All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today, I wanted to make episode 3 of our best places to grind for blank. So episode 1, we did best places to grind for silver. 2 was with Agris, and today is going to be for XP. Now, in this game, getting levels after a certain point kind of is less relevant because you should be grinding for more silver and getting gear upgrades instead. But there is a reason to actually push level 62, and after that it's kind of just minimal gains after that, and you kind of want to just boost your gear. But with that said, there is a reason to actually do this, because at level 62 you do get a passive, and 1% is 1%. So no matter what class you are, you get a passive at 62, and that's overall good. But how are we going to be doing this video? We're going to go look into the Monster Zone info tab, and I'm going to do one thing. First, we're going to sort by AP order. So no matter where you are in the game, whether you're a beginner or a veteran player, maybe there's a grind spot for you, but you know, we all know the top 5. I'll talk about that as well. And there's also another thing, let me see, there's a combat XP tag, and this is what the game recommends, and we're going to be talking about all of these as well. So I guess it's probably a good idea to, you know, just start off with what the game recommends, and I'll talk about, you know, if I think it's good or not. And so yeah, hopefully all of this is actually helpful. If you want to watch the previous ones for like best grind spots or silver and everything, I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can find it easier, and hopefully this helps you guys throughout the year. And with that said, let's see, what does the game recommend in 2025? Basham Base. This place is a little bit outdated, I'm gonna be honest. It used to be good back in the day. Now there's just like better spots. So I do believe they actually upped the amount of trash loot, or like the amount of silver you get, so it doesn't feel as bad anymore. And that was like a change from last year or maybe 2 years ago. But in terms of XP at Basham's, the last time I remember, I grinded up to level 61 there, and after that it just felt really slow. And even nowadays in 2025, it's really just like, you know, go to Polly's Forest or something if you're a new player or you're playing on seasonals. And yeah, fattest habitat. So this is the spot down in Kama Sylvia. Like, let me just show you in game actually. So down in the forest habitat, fattest habitat area is down here in between Ash Forest and Renaros. So this spot you can go up to probably like level 58, 59 before it starts feeling like you're better off going somewhere else. And I don't think they've changed that spot since it released, and so it's probably not the best. Next we have oh wait, hold on, did we miss a few? Okay, so Desert Naga and Tidium Valley, that is out in the desert. And so the most annoying part about these grind spots is you're going past Sandgrain Bazaar, and let me see if I can just show you. So these two areas are down here and a little bit past it. So that means you have to kind of go out into the desert, and past here is where your map kind of just disappears and your horse is slow unless you have a unicorn. And it's just overall kind of a hassle to do, to the point where it's probably not worth going to for most people. And same with this one, it's not so great. So Polly's Forest, this is probably the one I would actually recommend most people go to get to level 61 by yourself. Now, I understand that people can get boosted, you know, at other places, have your friend leech and all that stuff, and then get to 62 in an hour. But if you're playing by yourself, I believe this is actually an easy one to do that most people can do, and you can watch my seasonal videos. That's how I did it. Trader's Graveyard is actually a pretty solid one. It's kind of underrated in my opinion, because it was released and it wasn't that good, but then they buffed it over the past few years. So apparently it's good now. However, for me, there was just no point in ever being there because I was way past the gear requirement, and to the point where I do believe Polys is probably a little bit better, but this is an alternative if every spot in Polys is full. Oregon's Nest, I'll admit I have not grinded here like in 6 years or something. I remember Oregon just being very difficult to grind, and then I think they changed it like 5 years ago, but never bothered. Okay, so Proddy's Cave, or Proddy Cave. I do believe this is actually a very decent one. However, the part of it that's annoying is that it's out in the middle of the ocean. So it's like between Velia and Ilia Island. So it's right here. If you can get there and if you have a boat, it's probably okay. But if you're a new player, chances are you don't have any of those. And getting here is going to be a tedious activity. So yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of have to have a boat first and then it's fine. Otherwise, it's not fine. All right, Merrimack Ruins. This is the spot down in Kamasilvia. This is in my top 3 of best spots to grind for XP. Yeah, it also does recommend a party of 2 or 3, but you can grind it solo if you have enough X or AP, and it's really good. You see a lot of people grinding there, and you see how there's like a few people in a tree or something. Those are the people who are getting power leveled. And so, yeah, I remember back in the day doing that with my guildies, and it's probably like 1 to 61 or 62 in like 3 hours, assuming you are full buffed and everything. So yeah, this would be in my top 3. And is it harder to grind solo? On a seasonal character, it's a little bit rough, but you know, I think that this used to be like a 230 spot or 200, and then they lowered it. So overall, it's probably easier. You're kind of here for the XP. The silver itself it's all right, but it's not the greatest. So this is what we're here for. We're talking about 4 XP, so this is in my top 3. Sulfur Mine. It's not good, dude. It's not good. If you're here for the archaeologist map piece. That's actually it. Upper Sakraya. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why this was recommended either. The reason why you're in Upper Sakraya is for the rich merchant ring. You don't even use the item loot scroll, and the XP and silver is not that great, so I don't know why they recommended this spot. If you want to do XP, lower is a lot better, but the requirements are a little bit higher. Schultz guards, I haven't grinded here since they made like the 4th change, where this used to be a solo spot right next to what is that? I forgot. This is, remember in 2015, down by Sawsons? This used to be the spot back in the day, and then Schultz is right over here. So this used to be basically a buffed version of Sawsons, and people would grind there. Then they changed it into a party spot for some reason, and then now it's dead. So I haven't admittedly tested that one, so it is what it is. Upper Gyfin is actually a pretty solid one for XP. It's also solid for silver as well. The hardest part is probably finding a group of 5, you plus 4 others. So if it takes you more than like 20 minutes to get a group, you're probably better off just grinding literally anywhere else that I would recommend. But I'm surprised they don't actually recommend Underground Gyfin, simply because that one is the #1 spot for XP. And yeah, this is a little bit outdated. I can obviously tell that. But the #1 spot would be Underground Gyfin for XP. And you can honestly push 66 plus down in Gyfin. Not the upper one, the lower version. And Murrowak's Labyrinth, I don't have a lot of hours grinded here. I have a few, but it's one of those solo instance grinds where, you know, everyone goes into the labyrinth, right? Just think of like a pizza with 5 slices. And everyone gets their own room, and then like every 15 minutes or so, people rotate rooms until the boss spawns, and then everyone fights the boss together. So it was unique. I don't really know if it was good combat XP, but I should probably test that one day. But yeah, this is what the game recommends. Boy, do we have a lot of things to talk about when I actually look at this, because they are literally missing a lot of the good relevant spots. So anyway, with that said, let's go into AP order. So whether you're a beginner or not, this should be helpful for you. If you are under 240 AP, I'm going to start there simply, or I guess 230, simply because if you are under 230, you're probably on your seasonal character, and with seasonals, you can just go grind polys for XP all the way to 61, so this is a decent spot. Yeah, a lot of these spots we talked about, some of them are good for like silver and everything, but for XP in particular, not so much. Mirrormock Ruins in the top 3. I think Shuriken is okay. Not the night version, the day version. But it's not like a lot, but it's one of those things you just grind because you like it. Kratuga is decent for XP. And Underwater, Sakraya, the game recommended upper, but Underwater is, you know, it's okay as well. I don't know about upper, but Underwater is fine. Let's see, what else are we talking about? Jade Starlight Forest is decent, assuming you are like level 60 to 61. Bloody Monastery is actually pretty decent. I remember getting like not 1% an hour, but like 0.3 or 4% at level 62. And I don't know why the game doesn't recommend it, but I think this one is decent. Elvia or Camp. This spot is very good. The fact that the game doesn't recommend it is insane, because I remember grinding to level 64 at this spot back before I had, you know, I think I was around like 280, 290 AP at the time. And this spot is like 1% an hour, assuming you were full buffed and everything. And they even made it easier. Well, I guess this used to be a 280 spot. I don't think they actually changed like the difficulty. They just lowered the recommendation to 260 plus. So yeah, in terms of our order, number 1 being Lower Gyfin, number 2 being Orc Camp, number 3 being Mirrormock Ruins, 4 being Bloody Monastery is okay. Honglim Base, I don't have a lot of hours in this spot, but a lot of people actually like this spot, and I think it's good for silver, but I haven't tested it enough for XP. But this is one of the newer spots in the game that admittedly I don't have enough experience with yet. So Underground Gyfin, we just talked about this literally a minute ago, but this is the number 1 spot in the game for XP. Admittedly, it is a very geared spot, so like you're not going to be going from or like solo grinding this spot until you're probably level 61-ish, and you probably have a decent amount of gear. However, if you're looking to get power leveled from, like, let's say you're a level 1 seasonal character, this is like probably the fastest spot. And even if you're solo grinding, I got to 66 here. So yeah. After 66 though, this is kind of a little bit off topic, but let's say you're trying to push level 67 to 70 plus. Realistically, the best spot to grind is a training dummy or a red battlefield, but that's after 66. Up until then, Gyfin is number 1. And after that, all of these are admittedly probably silver spots. and not so much for XP. So check the other video that I talked about for silver if you want more details and all of that. But yeah, all of these are just silver spots and or treasure items to the point where it's not so much for XP. But once again, to recap everything, Gyfin Underground, number 1. Elvia Orcs, number 2. Mirror Mock at number 3. And then after that, what the game recommends in terms of like silver and everything, or not silver, like XP, I think for the most part, what the game recommended is okay-ish, but if you were a beginner, I would go to Polly's Forest until 61, and then Mirror Mocks to like 62, and then probably Elvia or Camp to like 64, and then Gyfin all the way, or Underground Gyfin to 66, and then after 66, RBF and Training Dummy 24/7. So those are my recommendations for all of you. I think this needs a little bit of work, and a lot of these are outdated, and they didn't even list some of the top spots in my opinion. And from my experience, that the only thing they got right here was probably Mirror Mock and Polly's Forest. You can grind all of the rest of these spots. It just won't feel efficient though. So yes, as someone who has made it to 66, I can assure you I have grinded a lot of these spots in the game. And yeah, so with that said, hopefully that was informative. And for all of you new players out there looking at that from the Combat XP tab, it's a little bit outdated. So hopefully anyone at Pearl Abyss, if you're watching my videos, send that to the Korean Pearl Abyss, tell them to update it. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you guys come back. And I got a bunch of other guide videos to talk about in the near future. A lot of stuff to update for 2025, especially for a lot of new players coming into the game. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Peace.